Together, we're going to be drawing the central points, the summaries of the most important aspects of each unit as we move through anatomy and physiology. I encourage you to draw these structures with me so that you really get to know the details very well. We're going to be starting off with some general biology concepts. I will say that sometimes students are a little bit anxious to move on to things that bear more relevance for them. For example, if you ever took an anatomy and physiology course before, it's possible that you may remember memorizing lists of bones or memorizing the structure of the heart, for example. But in fact, when you look at gross anatomy and you look at things that you can kind of see with your naked eye, this is the most surface level of this class that you can indulge in. You need to get a little bit deeper in there. And so we move from the gross anatomy, memorizing the bones, memorizing the muscles, memorizing the structures of the brain. We move to a cellular level. In each unit, it basically goes this way. We start with gross anatomy, or things you can see with the naked eye. We move to microscopic anatomy, for example, the cells that comprise the heart, or the muscles, or the brain. And then in the cells, we have to look at what the cells are actually doing. Every cell of your body is unique, and it has unique properties, and it has its own physiological function. And that's when it gets to be kind of my role is most important, because I will explain to you and draw for you and help you draw the physiology of how these structures actually work. And that's when you're really learning. If you ask me, memorizing lists of bones is just memorization. If you get into the more conceptual work, the more physiological functions of things, you actually begin to understand why the body behaves the way that it is. If you're starting to ask why questions during this course, then you're doing something right. So trust me when I say that I understand that sometimes this course is going to come across a little bit detailed, and you're going to be a little bit frustrated with the level of detail. Because I've watched students learn and struggle through these concepts so much through the years, I've started to understand what it is that you really need to know at the basic level in order to build on that knowledge and truly understand the human body. I assure you that there are no irrelevant lessons being taught here. We won't dwell on anything that isn't particularly important for you grasping a concept that we will surely be using down the line. Now, some of the concepts we will kind of gloss over at the moment, but we'll come back to them later. For example, ATP synthesis isn't something that we're going to be dwelling on now, even though it is a general biology concept that is often taught at the beginning of the course. However, down the line, when we start to think about how ATP is generated and how it, for example, helps with muscle contractions, then we will actually come back to an ATP lesson from general biology, and we will start to make sure that that is understood properly. Draw with me, have fun with it, draw it several times, go off book, try to draw it for your friends, try to draw it on a whiteboard. It is essential that you are able to produce and then reproduce this level of detail that we're looking at here, including all of the labeling that we're going to be doing and all of the basic conceptual work. So my suggestion is to you that you continue to revisit the video and redraw things. It doesn't take that long, really. And as you kind of force yourself to get into that mode of drawing things, and as you're creating them on your own, you'll be able to understand things a little bit better. At first, it might not make that much sense, but as you continue this process of drawing and redrawing and labeling, and then checking back and saying, oh, I forgot that this time, let me try it again. The more off book that you are, the better you will have understood the concept.